I used to believe that we exist in a beautiful world. But try looking around you now and compare what we had 1,000 of years ago to what we have today. We cannot deny the fact that our busy lifestyles and advanced technologies are destroying the environment, resulting to the imbalance of nature.
Yo, what's up, Krisha?
Stephen, I did not know you're here. You surprised me.
I got curious about the things you're talking about, but before we dig deeper into that, and I know more about the concepts and ideas involving the environment, together with its definitions and examples.
Don't you worry. I have with me my own trusty map to help us get to the perfect place where we could learn interesting stuff. First up, the biogeochemical cycle.
Oh, fancy seeing you here. I'm Dr. Cristel Banyaga. How can I help?
Friend Stephen here wanted to know about the biogeochemical cycle.
Well, it's kind of easy to understand. It's one of the numerous natural cycles in which conserved matter travels to the biotic and abiotic portions of an ecosystem. The term biogeochemical cycle can be simply broken down by using this understanding. The biotic system is called bio, the geological component is called geo, and the components that are transferred through a cycle are called chemical.
But what is the importance of knowing the biogeochemical cycle and understanding it?
That's a great question. Biogeochemical cycles provide insight on how the Earth manages matter and energy. The cycles transport components across ecosystems, allowing for modification. They're also crucial since they store and recycle components. Furthermore, biogeochemical cycles may show you how all living and non-living things on Earth are connected.
Oh, we get it now. Thank you so much for your help.
The lecture was quite short though. Is that all we need to know?
Of course not. You just get started. You can know more about it at your next destination.
Welcome to Carbon Cycle. Dr. Nicole Galing here, ready to explain what it is all about. It's so nice to see new faces wishing to learn more about these exciting ideas.
Carbon cycle? What is that?
Well, oxygen and carbon cycle to be exact. They are two of the biogeochemical cycles on Earth that make life possible. They act separately but are dependent on each other because the carbon cycle gives us oxygen for the oxygen cycle to use. And in turn, the oxygen cycle emits carbon dioxide which goes back into the carbon cycle. Plants are the main vehicle by which the oxygen and carbon cycles are connected. Respiration, combustion, and decomposition are three other ways that CO2 and or oxygen is released back into the atmosphere. Photosynthesis is the driver of the oxygen cycle. In this process, plants transform CO2 and water into sugars to use in their metabolism, help them to grow, and to provide food for other organisms. Moreover, carbon is the foundation of all life on Earth, required to form complex molecules like proteins and DNA. It helps to regulate the Earth's temperature, makes life all possible, is a key ingredient in the food that sustains us, and provides a major source of energy to fuel our global economy.
That's amazing. I never really thought about the daily cycles regarding nature. It's really quite fascinating. Krisha, we have to visit Pedro and share what we have learned.
Right, it's a long trip going there. But thankfully, we can now finally use our rocket. Full speed ahead!
See what you did to our beloved Mother Earth. Human activities have a tremendous impact on the carbon cycle. Some of its examples and corresponding effects include the ones I will show you, and that's not even all. Look closely and realize your actions.
Burning fossil fuels, changing land use, and using limestone to make concrete all transfer significant quantities of carbon into the atmosphere. As a result, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is rapidly rising. It is already greater than at any time in the last 3.6 million years.
Most of our activities such as deforestation, pollution, overpopulation, and the burning of fossil fuels have caused a huge impact on our world and its environment. These changes have triggered events such as soil erosion, polluted air, contaminated water, and the most important event of all, which is climate change.
Moreover, human civilization has undoubtedly had a harmful influence on biodiversity, particularly since the Industrial Revolution. Overfishing and hunting, habitat degradation due to agricultural and urban growth, pesticide and herbicide usage, and the release of other harmful substances into the environment have all had a negative impact on vertebrates.
We've damaged the world that much?
It's beyond my imagination. It's awful. What will our world be like in the next few years if this continues?
That's not all. Have you heard of epigenetics? Your actions affect your genes as well as the genes of those around you.
How can our genes be affected by this?
By definition, epigenetics is a study of changes in organisms caused by modification of gene expression rather than the alteration of the gene code itself. Our activities in the environment have affected the genes of plants and animals, which allows them to survive or thrive in our own environment. Epigenetic modifications are induced by the environment. It has allowed species to survive and adapt within contaminated areas that we caused. However, this does not mean we are not affected by it. The pollutants we have created can affect our epigenetics also, making us more vulnerable to diseases such as diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular diseases.
If all they said were true, then all the aforementioned facts boil down to one question. Are we invasive?
Invasive?
By definition, invasive species are introduced organisms that quickly become overpopulated and alter their new environment negatively. In our journey, I realized that we meet the requirements of an invasive species due to our impact and effects on environment and natural habitats within our world. But there is still time. We can still save the earth and let future generations enjoy every good thing it can offer.
But how can we make an impact?
If there's one memorable thing I've learned, it is that being educated on multiple environmental issues can be our first stepping stone towards the greater good. The next step is taking action. Not soon, not next time, but now. The things we can do include reducing our carbon footprint, using renewable energy, supporting local environmental initiatives, joining cleanup drives, and participating in tree planting programs. Lastly, let us pick and encourage others to take action also. I see. You've been watching us for quite some time now, haven't you? We've learned our lesson. But have you? Before we end this journey, we want to leave these questions for you to think about. What can you do to ensure the preservation of the earth and our future? And when will you start taking action, if not now?